Hi there. This video is about the Sodium Polyacrylate Separator. Between two pads, I mixed up some sodium polyacrylate and some zinc sulphate. That took about 2 days to sort of dissolve. It goes very watery, see? But once you got the zinc mixed in there and sort of somewhat absorbed for 2 days, I use these 2 plastic containers with some aluminium plates that fit in there, top and bottom, and I compressed it with a clamp and left it for 2 days. I got the top piece off. It's damp, it's holding its form, it's sort of, it is rubbery. I gotta be a bit more gentle. It will break, but I'm gonna try to see if I can get a piece to fit the cell, and it's much thinner. It's about, it does break. It's about that. It's about 3 mil thick. So I'll clean some cells down because we're all in this state. See the outside, the zinc sulphate climbs up and around. See, it soaks through, and that's why it sort of destroys the copper pad, which is attached to the graphite. If you can see the colouring, it takes about 2 to 3 days to get like that. So the graphite pads are porous somewhat. It takes a while to get in, but it does get through, and I've cleaned them off and it sort of comes back. This is a clean one which has been sitting around, but you can see it goes like that colour. It's got some shiny bits, which is nice graphite, but there's a coating. Alright, so I'll form this before it dries out too much. I think you can just add a little bit of electrolyte later if need be, but I'm going to try it dry first. Well, it's not dry. It's because it's sodium polyacrylate, the moisture's in there somewhere, plus the zinc. So okay, that should be interesting. A thinner separator, much more evenly uniformed. Seems to be compressed really nicely. I'll turn the light on. Let's see if we can look at it. Yeah, I can't sort of see much, but it's compact pretty well, so it might work much better maybe. And I'll try it on a zinc plate too with no carbon this time. So it'll be zinc plate separator, then the carbon, and then a graphite pad. Alright, so I'll be back in a while. Okay, I have all the plates all cleaned up and everything. They come up not too bad, but they're getting thinner, see? And that last sodium polyacrylate separator, the little round one, was just sort of half-heartedly made, just in the bottom of this container with gravity holding it. It's not too bad. It's got carbon sort of embedded in it, but the polymers have stuck together. They actually formed, and it's still somewhat tacky in the center, but the carbon on the outside's totally dry. I remember it was sitting in the sun while I was cleaning those, totally all of these. So, alright, I'll form the cells with the new separator. Don't worry, that carbon's not in there. It's there. And I'll get back. Okay, the first cell, it's the same material on the positive side, which was shop bought D-cell battery, washed of course. Or the cell would probably actually perform a bit better with the electrolyte. I should try it. There was 4 grams in the jar. Probably there's about 2.5 left in that jar still. And I sort of got it somewhat coated evenly, but I've noticed that there's high spots and they don't compress. So that's the positive side cell. There's not a real lot on there. It's probably about 2 grams, I'd say. I have the separator, that cut out, but it's a bit thicker actually because there's a little indentation. It's starting to sort of dry out a bit. I'll add some electrolyte. So it's about 5mm thick, going over the whole surface. And for the negative side, we have calamine lotion with a small drop of zinc sulphate mixed in it. It was in this jar. It's not runny, sort of somewhat drying. So we've got that coated on the zinc plate. That was also scrapped out of one of the D cells. So it's got, you can see the pits where it doesn't come clean, where the electrolyte from the previous cells was eaten into it. So it's somewhat clear. So separator. I'll add some zinc sulphate to the top of it. Don't want to over flood it. I think I over flood my cells, I reckon. You don't need as much electrolyte. Positive plate on top of that. And our little copper collector. I've cleaned it down. We may need 2 clamps for this one. Not sure. Yeah, we'll put 2 clamps on. Okay, alright, cells formed. Oh, the stuff's quite hard to, I thought it'd be easy to cut through with the razor blade, but it's quite firm. Interesting. So for the voltage, okay, we got the lid. Right, negative side. And positive. Okay, we're at 1.48 without a charge, just formed. That's looking okay actually. Steel leads. They didn't say anything about selling me steel leads, they just said alligator clips. So watch out, they have steel in them. See? Ripped off. They were cheap though. So we're probably losing resistance because of the steel. Not much, but you could say we are. Here we go for a short circuit. Uncharged, newly formed cell. 112 milliamps. Yeah, it's not too bad. 5mm gap separator. So, yeah. But it's full of electrolyte. It's got zinc sulphate in there. So we'll see how it performs. I'll give it an hour's charge up and I'll get back. Oh, I'll disconnect that. It's holding good voltage. It's still short circuited. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, just connected the charge. It's doing about 59 milliamps, 1.8 volts. The charge voltage is just under the 3 mark. So we'll see how long it takes to get up to a value. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, we're at 1 hour of charge. It's still going up, somewhat funny on its curve, but I'll disconnect the charge. We're holding 2.3 still. I'll stop the monitoring. And we have 30 milliamp load and cut-off voltage at 5 volts. I'm not sure how well it's going to go. It's like 5 millimeters of separator. So here we go. So we dropped down pretty quickly, but it may do something. There's only calamine lotion on the other side. Alright, I'll get back. Alright, back. The The cell ran for 1 hour and 27 minutes and 44 milliwatt hours. Quite surprised, considering it's got like a 5mm separator. Oh, yeah. And the bounce back, it's probably, I don't know when it finished, probably recently. Wasn't long, I was here about 5 minutes ago, so yeah. So 0.9 voltage bounce back, and we'll see what it is on there. 0. Oh, it's pretty spot on. And a short circuit after that. So 50 milliamps, dropping faster than it was though. So that's not too bad really. So the next cell is a all carbon plate cell with the zinc sulphate and PGA BGA zinc mix on this one, on this collector. It's not very thick again. And the other carbon, oh actually I forgot, I got the very fine feather carbon mix, 3 grams, so it's 3 grams of the zinc sulphate blended carbon and 3 grams of the feather carbon, which has been in the ball mill for over 40 hours. I somewhat forgot. See how it's smoky coloured? It's either stained the glass or it stays suspended in the air like that. I'll get the laser, but I'm gonna point my head the other way so it may be on there, because I don't want it reflecting in my eyes or anything. So here we go. Oh no, I'll hide behind the camera. Yeah, you can't see the beam in there, not through the camera, but I can see a light coming back at the bottom. Could be on the balls. Well, can't see anything there, but yeah, it's really finely ground. So, right, and oh, and the other side is the same as the positive side of that cell, which is the manganese dioxide mix from a batch D cell. I got to do the thing now. I got to put the separator in the cell because it's getting sort of fluffy. So that's the zinc side. Again, the separator is quite fat. I would have hoped for less, but the way the containers are used to compress it, that's how it is. So I'll put some electrolyte on a little bit. Not too much, it'll probably squeeze out. We don't want to do that. And the top plate, which is the manganese. Oops, there goes my separator. I'll put 2 clamps on. So that's the positive top side, and I'll put the other clamp with the other electrode. Got it a bit wet on that side. Oh. Okay. Right, so that should be that way. I'll give this other zinc plate cell another charge after this one. So if everything's right, the bottom plate, which is the zinc carbon, should be the negative. And that top one should be the positive. Yep, but it's pretty low. It's only 0.2 volts. So 0.2 volts and a short circuit on it. Only 2.7, oh, it's jumping around. So say about 4 milliamps. Now it's dropping. So I'll give this cell a charge and we'll see what the double carbon cell is in comparison to the other one. Alright, won't be long, an hour. Okay, slightly higher on the milliamps in this carbon cell. 2.9 volts, which was slightly higher. Now it's 2 there. 2 on the multimeter now. I'm counting, so I'll leave this for an hour and I'll get back. Okay, we're at 1 hour for the all carbon cell. So I'll disconnect the charge, stop the monitoring. Yeah, we seem to be holding a little bit, 2.2 volts. We'll do a 30 milliamp load again, and starting now. Around about the same droppage, I think. Alright, I'll let it do its thing and we'll see what we get. I think it was 40 something milliwatt hours with the zinc plate cell. Alright. Okay, it's just finished. It's not very good on this cell, the double carbon one. Might be something to do with the carbon's not as conductive as the zinc plate. I'd have a guess. The voltage bounce back is better though. It's 1.2 volts for some reason. I'll top it up with some electrolyte and give it a half-hour charge. Maybe we're drying it out because it's all carbon, perhaps. So I'll get back with a half-hour charge after topping it up with some electrolyte. Okay, second charge for the all-carbon cell. 35 minutes on charge. We'll see if it responds to less of a charge time. I still think it might be something to do with the zinc carbon. Needs a bit of work. Got to look in that area, I think. So it's sort of same characteristics, drop straight down to 1.9. Dropping pretty fast. Alright, I'll see if I'm back in 5 minutes. Okay, we got a little bit higher in the run time, 6 minutes, and it just cut out then. Wondering if I increase the voltage, which will perhaps allow it to penetrate the zinc carbon here and convert the calamine lotion's zinc oxide to zinc, perhaps a bit quicker because of I have to increase the voltage to get over the resistance. Maybe. So that's a theory. So I'll go to 5 minutes. 5 volts, and I'll charge it up for a half hour. I'll monitor it. Alright, I'll get back. Okay, the third charge for the all carbon cell. I dropped the voltage down here to 4 volts on the charger. It was outgassing a bit too much. So disconnecting the charge. Stopping the monitor. Slightly higher charge, slightly higher voltage holding, sort of. It's going to drop, but we're still up. Alright, I'll do a load test now. Oh, hasn't dropped yet, 2.4. So maybe the resistance in the cell needs a bit more voltage to get the chemistry to transform. It's sort of still bubbling if you saw the edge of that. Still at 2.3 volts. Really? It's unconnected. Yeah, I was just checking the leads. Alright, so higher voltage on the cell. Really? The calamine lotion's in the zinc carbon, so maybe it is needing to push more charge through it to make it to get the voltage needed. Oh, we're a minute at 2 volts. Alright, I'll get back. Okay, that was slightly up on the last lot of runs, 20 minutes and 13 milliwatt hours on that cell. So I'll try a an hour's charge and see what we get. Alright, I'll get back. Okay, the fourth charge of the double carbon graphite cell. An hour and 11 minutes on charge. It made itself to holding 3, dropping. Alright, starting a test. It's holding its voltage pretty well, 2.8. Alright, starting 30 milliamp test. Alright, I'll get back. Okay, back with that fourth discharge. Seems to only run for 20 minutes, 15 milliwatt hours, even though it was, an hour's charge, so no improvement over the half-hour charge, so half hour's probably fine with that cell for some reason. But 1.9 volts on a reed cover. I'll just do another run. Yeah. Alright, it was. Voltage recovery is good anyway, by the looks of it, and a little bit of power. Alright, I'll give them a charge up tomorrow morning and see what they go like then. Till tomorrow. Okay, back the next day. That's the all carbon cell with the sodium polyacrylate zinc sulphate separator. It's at 1 volt after about 15 hours. It was 1 volt, and I topped it up with some electrolyte earlier this morning and it went to 1.07 and it's fluctuating. And for a short circuit, still uncharged from its discharge state. 42 dropping. So that's still valid cell. I'll give it an hour's charge up again and we'll see how well it performs today. We should get 20 minutes and 13 or something milliwatt hours. Alright, phone just went funny. Alright, I'll be back. Okay, the first charge from on the second day of the cell. It's not looking as smooth anymore for some various reasons, probably drying out I'd imagine, but we'll see how it goes. Disconnecting the charge, so we already dropped pretty rapidly. We're at 2.7, which is still high for this cell. Would have normally dropped to about 2.4 or 3 by now. Alright, so I'll run it. So it's still high voltage. Okay, sorry, phone ring. It's looking good so far. Only has like 20 minutes mainly, maybe I should say. Well, it looks like we're going to get a minute on 2 volts, which is very unusual. Oh no, we didn't get it. Alright, I'll get back. Okay, the cell's totally down from what it was last night. It's only 13-minute runtime and 9 milliwatt hours. That's quite poor, but I think it might be dry. But I'll do that tomorrow sometime. I'll pull the cell apart if I can without breaking it. I'll put that on a separate video. And for this video, I'll give the zinc plate one another charge and we'll see what that does. I think it was about 40 milliwatt hours on the last hour's charge it had, so I'll get that charged up and I'll get back. Okay, I got the zinc cell connected. We're at 1.3, so that's actually a bit better, which we would have guessed anyway. It's got a zinc plate, pure zinc plate, and 47 milliamps dropping. That was after its run last night, so I'll give it its hour's charge and we'll see what we get. Hopefully it's around 40 milliwatt hours again, because it's not too bad. It's a zinc cell, so it should be half decent. Okay, back with the zinc cells. 1 hour and 3 minutes charge, 4 minutes nearly, disconnecting. So that one dropped immediately to 2.5. I'll stop monitoring. Still leaking. I think anything over 1.5 will leak, really. And 30 milliamp load test starting now. Oh no, it dropped pretty rapidly. 1.4. Could be dry inside. It was pretty dry. I just sort of smeared some electrolyte around the outside. The one in the container is actually a lot softer. Still spongy, and it was only sort of semi-sealed, just like that. But that one was in the air left, and same with the other one. The run doesn't look like it's going to do much. Alright, we'll get back when it finishes, probably a couple of minutes. Just noticed around the copper contact, it's a bit wet. So we might not get any good runs with it like that. I might have to take it off and dry out that plate. It seems to be soaking up liquid a lot. And it's only 5 millimeters touching by the width of that copper plate, which is about 25. And going by how it corrodes the copper pretty well, it might not be contacting good. That could explain it, but it seems to be holding 1.02 volts. Just slightly dropping. Oh yeah, she's dropping. Alright, I'll get back. Okay, not very impressive this run. 24 minutes and 10 milliwatt hours. So, something definitely wrong with the cell. I'll do cell diagnostics on the next video and I'll post the update. Pretty sure it could be because the pad's wet and the piece of copper. Let's just have a look. We can do that without getting my hands too dirty. I'm gonna go get ready for tea and stuff. It's 1.4 volts recovery and milliamp short circuit. 50 milliamps still there. 60 going up. Holding 62. But the voltage has dropped way past the cutoff voltage on that data logger. So let's check the copper plate out. Yeah, okay. Could be a reason. Check that out. That's the contact area. And where it was touching. Hang on, let's find a new location. 1.9. We get the same voltage no matter what, dirty or not dirty. Oh no, that's slightly up. Yeah, alright, so it does make a difference having, got to keep that electrolyte, the zinc sulphate, off of the copper. It totally does not go. Oh, put it in focus. Alright, hope you find this video interesting. I did. And don't forget the results might be a bit sponged because it's like 5mm thick separator. Put it in view. So that's got to be taken into consideration. And for the bits what were just sitting around, it's sort of crumbly, so yeah, it will fall apart when it gets wet. I mean dry. Alright, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the updated video.